President Trump calling out California Governor Gavin Newsom and the UK for their, quote, inappropriate new climate deal. Telling Politico, quote, the UK's got enough trouble without getting involved with Gavin Newsom. Gavin is a loser. Everything he's touched turns to garbage. His state has gone to hell, and his environmental work is a disaster. Senior White House Deputy Press Secretary Kush Desai joins me now. Kush, is the White House going to try and quash this deal under the argument that, look, deals like this are the purview of the federal government and not a state?
Well, look, President Trump is absolutely right to call out Gavin Newsom's little international deal-making foray. The reality is that the green or clean energy scam policies that Gavin Newsom is doubling down on and now making international deals with have a proven track record of failure. Under Joe Biden, these policies caused energy prices to increase 30% over the course of 4 years, when the Biden folks were strangling the oil and gas and clean, beautiful coal industries with burdensome regulations, when they were pushing unaffordable and unreliable wind energy. And so, we're seeing a clear dichotomy here where the red states who are doing the right thing, who are following the president's lead, who are embracing his drill, baby, drill agenda, are seeing lower energy prices. They're seeing gas prices hit, $2 a gallon. California, gas prices are almost $5 a gallon. So not only is it inappropriate, Gavin Newsom's also just doubling down on a policy agenda that does not work and is making life worse for the people of his state.
So what's the White House response to Newsom overall touring Europe and telling European leaders, again, he's a state governor, he's not a president who works on foreign policy. What do you think of him taking to the foreign policy stage and saying, look, Trump's shakeup of transatlantic relations and climate policy is merely temporary, implying that, hey, I'm going to be in office soon and I'm going to change whatever Trump does? Your response?
Well, look, I think Gavin Newsom should focus on fixing the problems of his state, where he should be cutting taxes and cutting regulations and lowering crime. And instead, he's doing the exact opposite. When you have businesses, when you have people, millions of people fleeing the state of California because California has become so unlivable thanks to Democrats like Gavin Newsom, the absolute last thing you should be doing is, frolicking around in Europe trying to campaign or audition for president.
On Thursday, President Trump expected to be in Rome, Georgia, swing state Georgia, to give remarks on affordability and the economy. Kush, is the White House messaging on affordability getting through to the American voter? Because, look, the numbers that are out there are pretty good, but it's all about the feel when that voter goes into the voting booth in November. What say you? Is the message getting through?
For sure. Look, the fact of the matter is that over the past year, real wages, meaning inflation-adjusted wages, have gone up $1,400. That's a big and market change from the Biden era, when Americans were consistently getting worse off, meaning their money was going less far than it used to. But we recognize that much work remains. The president is never satisfied. We've recouped $1,400 of the $3,000 or so that Americans lost under Joe Biden. So there's still much work that remains, but we're on a positive trajectory here. Economic growth is skyrocketing. Trillions in investments are materializing, creating jobs and raising wages. We're seeing our trade deals continue to take effect. Our tax cuts, no tax on tip, on overtime, on Social Security, just now creating the largest tax refund season in American history. So we're focused on continuing to implement the president's agenda that has a proven track record of raising economic growth, of lowering even wealth and income inequality in his first term. And so as these policies take effect, we're going to see real wages continue growing, meaning wages after inflation continue growing, and we're going to see the American people continue getting better off.
And that will be very helpful to Republicans come the midterms. White House Deputy Press Secretary Kush Desai, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.